November 10th, 2025, regular meeting of the Mobile County Commission. We'd like to ask Reverend Pratt Patterson from Christ Church Cathedral to join us at the podium for our invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning. Let us take a moment to enter into God's presence. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in this county the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. You have bound us together in a common life. Help us in the midst of our struggles for justice and truth to confront one another without hatred or bitterness and to work together with mutual forbearance and respect. And as always, we ask your blessing upon all your children as we bless and magnify your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like to invite Joyce Reed with the Azalea City Quilters Guild to come to the mic. This is the time of year when they bring their quilts of valor.
Quilts of Valor Foundation. Our local group is Stars Over Mobile. For many of us, Quilts of Valor is our form of national service. It's one tangible way we can give back to others who have given so much for the freedoms that we enjoy. Our freedom to assemble, of free speech, of religion, our right to bear arms, and so on. There are over 11,000 of us volunteers who've joined since our founding in 2003. And as of October 30th this year, we awarded over 2,200 quilts last month. We've awarded nearly 26,000 year to date for a total of 427,121 quilts total since the beginning. We got started because a mom in Delaware felt panicked 24/7 as her son sat atop a Humvee as a gunner in Iraq. She and many of her friends were quilters, and they knew that a quilt usually comes with a warm hug and the comfort that brings. So they decided to send a quilt to a returning injured soldier at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. The chaplain there knew that the value of a homemade quilt far exceeded the value of allowable gifts to veterans, as his wife was also a quilter. But at his wife's insistence, he went ahead and broke the rules and awarded that quilt to a veteran. It meant so much that those ladies began to send more warm hugs until his office area was overcome and he had to commandeer a storage closet just to find a place to put the quilts as they came in. And as luck would have it, President Bush and Laura came to award our returning vet his Purple Heart. And that's, as usual, they had the media in tow. And that vet had a quilt on his bed that he had received. The media got wind of that quilt and why it was there. And the word spread rapidly, and quilts began coming in from around the world to cover many more of our wounded. Today, your presentation helps put our group, and last year we did over 70 quilts, and this year we'll probably surpass that because we're doing about 50 in November alone. Approximately 575 quilts awarded here since we joined the national group 11 years ago. In Mobile, we've awarded quilts to many people, such as Senator Bob Kerrey of Nebraska. He was a presidential candidate years ago. We awarded one to Dave Riley, a quad amputee who happens to be from Mobile and was the national commandant of the DAV. We awarded one to Gavin McElvaney, who at the time was president of the Honor Guard of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers. We awarded one to President Trump's press secretary, Sean Spicer, and we even awarded one to the current Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, all coming from Mobile. Most importantly, though, we have awarded many ordinary citizens just like you who put their lives on the line for our freedoms, and we thank you. Hopefully, your quilt will bring comfort and healing to you just as it has to many others. Today, we'd like to honor 3 from the Mobile area. Brigadier General Michael D. Evans originally enlisted in the Alabama Army National Guard in 1986 as communications specialist in the Signal Corps. His awards are too numerous to mention them all, but he did receive the Legion of Merit, the Meritorious Service Medal with 3 Oak Leaf clusters, and the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, among many others. He completed 2 deployments to the Middle East during Operations Enduring Freedom and served for 7 years as an enlisted soldier prior to his commission. He rose through the ranks to Brigadier General, and he currently serves as the director of the Mobile County Emergency Management Association. Today, we'd like to thank him for his service to his country on behalf of a grateful nation, the Quilts of Valor Foundation, and say, welcome home. Thank you for your service. And you'll notice it comes with what we call a glorified pillow case. It's his presentation case. He can use it as a pillow case, or he can use it to store his quilt when he's not using it. Timothy Wyrick began his career in the United States Navy as an aviation boatswain's mate, culminating in the rank of first-class petty officer. His expertise and leadership led him to a prestigious instructor assignment at the Naval Air Technical Training Center in Pensacola, where he trained the next generation of aviation boatswain's mates. In the final phase of his career, he reported to the USS Abraham Lincoln during its overhaul at Norfolk Naval Shipyard, where he played a pivotal role in coordinating shipyard operations and maintenance. Today, he serves as the public building maintenance supervisor for Mobile County, Alabama. He oversees the maintenance and operations of critical public infrastructure. Today, we'd like to thank Timothy for his service to our country on behalf of a grateful nation and the Quilts of Valor Foundation with a great big Quilts of Valor hug. Thank you. Uday Appleton served in the U.S. Army as a human resources specialist. Among her many duties through the years were managing the Iraqi personnel and detainment. She processed personnel strength, accountability updates during combat operations. She managed and maintained personnel records, processed promotions and evaluations. She also prepared all of the casualty records. She planned, directed, supervised, and coordinated work activities for over 800 subordinates and staff relating to their employment, their compensation, labor relations, and the employee relations. Today, we'd like to thank her for her service to our country on behalf of a grateful nation and the Quilts of Valor Foundation. Welcome home, soldier. Thank you all for your service and for your support of the veterans during this week where we honor those who served.
I'd like to thank you and your organization for your service. Thank you. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, ma'am. We have 2 speakers signed up this morning to address the commission related to a trade school named South Alabama Home Building Academy. And first is Hunter, and I'll need to get your last name. I've asked them to state their name for the record and address, and I've explained that they each get 5 minutes. So.
Good morning. Dr. Tommy Davis on behalf of the South Alabama Home Building Academy, 2440 Gordon Smith Drive. My title is actually Executive Director of the North Alabama Home Building Academy. It's been my honor to work with the Greater Mobile Home Builders Association, the Home Builder Association of Metro Mobile, to start an academy like the one we have in North Alabama. I just want to give you an overview of the program that we offer and what we plan to do here in the Mobile area. We offer free hands-on training for those individuals who are looking to start a career in residential construction. The thing that's unique about our program, first of all, there's no cost to the students at all, and it's only 16 classes long, so it's a short-term commitment of their time. We usually do the training 2 nights a week for 8 weeks, so the 16 classes. We offer 2 worksite safety classes, 9 basic skills classes that everyone participates in, where they learn to use basic hand tools, basic power tools, and then at the end we offer 5 trade-specific classes, so they can learn specifics in HVAC, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, and in the case of Mobile, roofing. Now, the interesting thing about this is we have designed it so that someone who is working a job that may not earn them a living wage can still attend our program. At the end, we introduce them to employers in the area who are hiring, have immediate hiring needs, and connect them to the jobs that are available in the area. The things that we ask from them is that they just be ready to go to work in construction. They do have to pass a drug screen. They have to be 17 or older and then legally employable in the United States. Now, in the past 6 years that we've been in existence, in December, we will surpass 700 graduates of our program. Of those 700 graduates, 70% have gone to work in the residential construction field, and of that 70%, 90 to 95% stay employed long-term in the construction industry. One of the things that has done in the Huntsville area, besides the economic benefit of those wages that have been earned, is it makes it possible for our contractors in the area to take on more building projects, so they're able to complete more. It's really been a huge boost in the Huntsville area. We provided for you a kind of a brochure highlighting a summary of our program. That first page is kind of what I've just told you about the class itself. If you flip over to the back of it, you can look at the program summary, and there's some things that I'm extremely proud of in our demographic summary. First of all, 25% of our applicants are female. That's unusual, you would think, in the construction industry, but you have to remember that construction is not just about being on a crew swinging a hammer. There are many, many jobs in the construction field, and coming through our program helps everyone be ready, whether they're working in an office or they're in sales or they're actually out there building. One of the things, another thing, and you look at the age in our program, 65% of our students are under the age of 30. This is important because in the construction industry, the average age of your skilled tradesman is in the upper 50s, which means they're going to be retiring out or aging out very soon. We are effectively lowering the average age of the workers in our area, and that's important. One of the proudest things for me, though, is that if you look at that last page, 76% of our students are not on a post-secondary pathway. But many of them, when they complete our program, they experience some success. They move on to post-secondary training or extra training as they move into their career, their new career in construction. So we help students find their career and then help them earn that desire for more knowledge, to increase their skill set, so they can move further in their career. The very last page on the back side of that brochure, I'd like to highlight the many community partners that we have. We're not just about the trades. We really work with all the agencies in our area to offer services, wraparound services. A lot of times we hear it called. So we are in all of our schools. We're talking to students about careers in the skilled trades and showing them how to use that. We have partnerships with Drake State and Alabama A&M University in our area. We feed students into their programs. We have a summer camp for Girls Inc. that we've been doing for 5 years now, a 2-week summer camp for young ladies, and we work with Boys and Girls Club, Habitat for Humanity, and then His Way is a residential addiction recovery center. So we're looking to help those populations who sometimes don't get the opportunity to start a career in residential construction.
So how would someone who is interested apply?
That's a great, yes, ma'am. So the Go Build Mobile is the website. So if anyone goes to Go Build Mobile, on there's an application process. Through that application, they sign up for an information session. At the information session, we show them how to register for classes. There's no cost at all to the students. We provide everything from tools to instructors to materials. If they finish the program and get a job in construction, we give them their toolkit to help them start the job, so they don't, that's another, removing another barrier for employment for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wanda, you had any questions?
We have one other speaker on the
I
same
was
topic.
curious about the, I've been communicating with Ben Reynolds about this because I know you guys have done a presentation over there, and I'm semi-excited. I want to learn more about the program, but semi-excited about a program like this in Mobile for young people. But I see Huntsville, I guess, every year that the program has been in existence, I guess, since 2020, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
They've just allocated $200,000 out of their general fund, it looks like. And then the Madison County, I notice, is different amounts, and I guess that's based off a program. And you guys are working, I guess, closely with the Mobile Home Builders Association. And I guess that funding is generated through their permitting office. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
so the law that was just passed in this past legislative session that Robert's going to speak to you about, Robert Collins, is it allows a local entity to add a small fee to each residential permit that is pulled that's allocated to the training. And so in Madison County, the Madison County adopted it and the city of Madison adopted it. The city of Huntsville decided to stick with just a straight appropriation for the first few years. They're actually in the process of swapping over to the permanent fee model like the other two have done. Huntsville was just a wonderful partner. They actually started with an appropriation of $200,000 before we had the permit fee law in place. And so they stuck with that model until this coming year. So that's why theirs has been steady all along and the others have been different.
Is I guess this is probably more of a question for the Home Builders Association, but is every contractor, licensed contractor in Mobile County, are they required, or are they a member of the Home Builders Association? Or are there contractors who may just be a licensed, a small contractor, like let's just say a HVAC guy who has his own business, who doesn't see value or benefit in being a member? Are they not members of the Home Builders Association? Or
I would not be able to speak to that. I can tell you how it is in Huntsville. You do have some that are like that. The thing about the permit fee, though, is they have the option to come to our job fairs. If they have a hiring need, they're welcome to come participate in that job fair. So it is training a workforce for them as well. It's all about workforce development, and the Builders Association, through this academy model, is they're training their own workforce and paying for it through the permit fee.
I appreciate you being here, and I'm familiar with it. I've been having conversations for weeks about it. I'm like I said, semi-excited. I have a few questions, but
Sure.
I like the concept of training young people in our community to do jobs in our community. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Just 1 minute. Commissioner Hudson sends her regrets today. She is under the weather and unable to attend. Okay, now go ahead.
Thank you. The second speaker on the same topic of South Alabama Home Building Academy's Robert.
Yes.
And please state your name and address for the record.
Yep, good morning, Robert Collins, the local president of the HBA this year. Thank you for having us. And thank you to all you veterans that are here and being honored this Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. So we did start the conversation with Ben, during their campaign and started the conversation. And like Tommy said, this year, the House bill passed in June that allows us to attach up to $20 fee for residential permits to fund the school for workforce development. This has been something that, our workforce has really been suffering for, at least 2 decades. The biggest impact, I think, probably was around 2008, 2009, when the economy just, really took a dive. So a lot of people at that time couldn't make it in the industry, so they got out. And currently, right now, for every 5 people that retire or get out of the industry, we've been gaining 1. So we've been on a steady downhill for a long time. So as the industry, we're trying to build the industry back up, build our workforce development back up, and training them. Just this school gives them a basic training in a short period of time, so that it teaches them the basic skills. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to read a tape measure or read a set of blueprints. We go over those basic skills. Also, how to use power tools. A lot of people are intimidated by those, but we teach them in a safe manner that makes them comfortable so that they can, go into that field. Also, by going through this class, we're seeing $3 to $5 more an hour from the employers hiring them on someone versus someone that's just green, that's never had any experience. So it helps them get more money in a short period of time and help, them to be able to support their family. It gives them a hand up and not a hand out. And we're encouraging everyone to come that wants to participate and possibly join in that career. We've also, through the program, have approved it through the state with the Plumbers Board. So currently, you've got to have 2 years under a master plumber to get to qualify for an apprenticeship. The state licensure board has approved this program so that in working under a master plumber for a year and completing this class, after 1 year, they will have met the requirement to take their apprenticeship. So there again, it's another step forward in their career at an expedited pace so they can earn more money, support their family, and support the local economy. So those are just a few things. I didn't know if you had any questions I might could help you with, answer in my time remaining.
Only the question, deal with the Home Builders Association. All contractors, all licensed contractors aren't required to be a member, or not necessarily, they're all members.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, we are associated, the South Alabama Home Building Academy is associated with the Home Builders Association, but it is not required for contractors to be a member. We'd love for them to join if they're not, but no, this is open for everyone. We're trying to just get the workforce built back up. We've got a lot of growth here in Mobile with ASL, Airbus, the Up 43, so there's a lot of things that are going well for our industry or our local area, but we need people to support that as well. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
No more
Okay.
speakers on general topics.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kerr.
Good morning, Commissioners. Item 1, approve minutes of the regular and special meetings as follows.
So moved.
Second.
2, approve a list of claims.
So moved.
Second.
3, hold public hearing as required by Alabama Code on the application for local approval from the City of Mobile Solid Waste Disposal Authority for a Chastang landfill permit modification to increase maximum daily volume of waste from 1,725 tons per day to 5,000 tons per day, and to expand the service area within Mobile County to include Baldwin, Clark, Choctaw, Conecuh, Covington, Escambia, Monroe, and Washington counties in Alabama, Escambia, Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, and Walton counties in Florida, and Jackson, Harrison, Hancock, George, and Greene counties in Mississippi.
The public hearing is now in session. Do you have the speakers?
Yes, ma'am. We have a representative of the applicant, and we have 3 people have signed up to speak. They've all been instructed to speak directly into the microphone, to state their name and address for the record. And as is customary for public hearings, we will have 3 minutes for each speaker. So our first speaker is a representative of the applicant, Jamie Betbes.
I just want to tell each speaker, we have a court reporter here, and she needs to get it all down, so just be cognizant that she's there. Thanks.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jamie Betbes, and I have been asked to present the application on behalf of the applicant, the City of Mobile Solid Waste Disposal Authority. As Mr. Kerr stated, the modifications that are requested are to increase the maximum volume at the Chastang landfill from 1,725 tons per day to 5,000 tons per day, and to increase the service area of the Chastang landfill from Mobile County alone to include 17 other counties within the region. Now, the purpose of this application is really to put the Chastang landfill in a competitive position with relation to the other landfills that are in the area, specifically the Turkey Trot landfill just to the north in Washington County, and also the EcoSouth landfill in Axis just down the road. As you probably know, the Axis landfill is already receiving waste from outside of Mobile County, and in fact has a service area that also includes 18 counties within the region, to include counties in Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida, just as we are asking for the Chastang landfill. And also, the Axis landfill is able to accept up to 5,000 tons of waste per day. And so these modifications that we're asking for would simply put the Chastang landfill on a competitive basis with these other landfills. As indicated in the Mobile County Solid Waste Management Plan, having competition in the marketplace helps to keep the prices of waste disposal down for all residents of Mobile County, and also for the residents of the City of Mobile, that all of the waste from the residents of the City of Mobile go to the Chastang landfill. But also waste from many residents in Mobile County and the smaller municipalities in Mobile County. And so one of the things that we want to make sure that the Commission is aware of, we heard at the public meeting that the residents are wondering what is the benefit to them for these having the landfill there and these changes that we're asking for. And one of the benefits that we specifically want to note is that not only would it increase the tax revenue, but the operator of the landfill Waste Management is offering a host fee of 50 cents per ton for all waste that comes from outside of Mobile County into the landfill. That would be a constant source of revenue for Mobile County that would be over and above the tax revenue, and that could go into your general fund to do whatever the County Commission felt was appropriate for the community as the host of this landfill there. And so we hope that the Commission and the residents would see that as a benefit. We do have representatives here that would be available to answer any questions, but I do see that my time is up.
What was the tonnage again at Axis versus Chastang?
So the Axis landfill is able to receive 5,000 tons per day maximum. And that's the same that we're asking for Chastang. Chastang currently has a maximum of 1,725 tons per day.
And this 50 cents per ton, that would be up to the 5,000, including the 1,700 that's already received, or would that just be the additional tonnage?
No, Commissioner, I think, so to answer your question specifically, the 50 cents per ton that is being offered would be for any waste that comes from outside of Mobile County. So whatever tonnage comes from outside of Mobile County, a host fee of 50 cents per ton would be paid for that. Of course, the landfill would be limited to a maximum of 5,000 tons per day. And that's really unlikely. That's really only in emergency situations that you would see that much waste coming into the landfill. But any tonnage from outside of Mobile County, the county would receive a host fee of 50 cents per ton.
With their 5,000 in Axis, for example, and you may not know the answer to this question, they have a limit of 5,000 tons per day. Do they take that amount in, or do you?
I have not seen their volumes. I think it's very unlikely that they get 5,000 tons per day. I can tell you, we don't even receive the 1,725 tons with only accepting waste from Mobile County. But they, as I said, they've got a much larger service area, so I do not know the tonnage.
That was my next question. What is the tonnage on average at Chastang right now?
It's about 550 tons per day. And we anticipate, we've done some market studies, and we anticipate that the market area that we're looking at, that we would really expect to see about 150 to 200 additional tons per day coming in with this additional market area.
I guess I have one more question. Sorry, I'm
Yes, sir.
full of questions this morning. The 1725 max right now, but they're only allowed to accept from Mobile County. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have 3 additional speakers on this topic. Mr. Richard Hayward, if you'd come to the mic, please state your name and address for the record.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
I have found after reading their proposal, this makes no more sense for expanding that landfill than it did years ago when touted by Mike Dow. When told that there was a competing landfill across the bay that was charging more for tipping fees, everybody in Mount Vernon said, so what? We don't care. Not a dime of that money is coming to the community, and nobody that works at that landfill lives in Mount Vernon. They weren't having their landfills their land values devalued because of the presence of a landfill. Now, I hear the term benefits bandied about quite a bit. The only benefits that can be seen is pumping up Waste Management's bottom line revenue. I'm a relative newcomer, been there just short of 25 years. All the people I've spoken to, and I believe Ms. Ludgood also listened to their October 2nd refusals, or should I say their reluctance to sign on to this as being pervasive. Within 3 or 4 miles of this landfill, the property values are down. When I first moved there, the stink was just awful. Took them years to finally control that. To be considered, this proposal by the residents of Mount Vernon, I think Waste Management would have to do something for the community directly and have to do it first, given Waste Management's documented record of concealment and obfuscation. I didn't hear about the October 2nd meeting except by neighbors calling me up. It wasn't published in any leading journal of the day. Some of the considerations that Waste Management might undertake would be build sidewalks through the Mabaco community, put up street lights, give the residents a free dumpster once every 6 months to get rid of dried up paint cans, tires, etc. Or at the very bottom line, I would go away and never dispute any expansion they made. Just buy me out. My house in Acreage they can have for $500,000. They could buy out the community and make the biggest landfill in the state. Alabama is becoming known as the toxic dump of America, and this isn't helping one bit. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Hayward.
Our next speaker is Mr. Fred Wheeler. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Fred Wheeler, 8405 Sterling Drive, Mobile, Alabama, 36695. I am a member of the Solid Waste Advisory Board, Council District 6, representing that district. So I rise to ask you to take and vote in favor of this expansion. As a resident of Irvington many years ago, we had the county landfill that was at Irvington, or Apache Switch Road and Half Mile Road. It was unlined, really not regulated really well. The one in Chestang, on the other hand, is. The other thing that you need to recognize is that with the way that modern landfills are, things such as methane recovery, which is part of this project that the Solid Waste Advisory Board is part of doing that. And it helps lessen the pollution that is given to the area from methane, which is a greenhouse gas and affects everybody. So this, in essence, is a really win-win for not only the county and the city residents, but the population of the counties involved together, because of the fact that I worked 40 years in the petroleum industry. When I first joined the Solid Waste Advisory Board, I didn't think I would have anything to offer as far as garbage. But I found out that with the methane recovery project, I did know quite a bit. Methane is one of the lightest gases made other than hydrogen. It is easily escapable, and the methane recovery project that is pigtail to this is one of those things that is necessary to take and lessen the effects of pollution in our country today. And not only that, one of the things that when I lived in Irvington was the fact that people dumped their garbage on roads that were adjacent to the Jamestown estate subdivision that I lived in, and made it just unbearable because of the rats and the dogs and other animals that frequented the roads around there. So I ask you to take and really consider hard allowing this expansion. As beneficial not only to city residents and county residents, it's also beneficial to the nation as a whole, as it lessens greenhouse gases, which are really starting to get out of control. Thank you.
Freddie, is this proposal have to go before the Solid Waste Authority for the city of Mobile for a vote? And does it, I mean, I know it's in the county, but does y'all's authority have to?
Yes.
So there'll be a vote from the, or have y'all already voted?
We've already approved the expansion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Third speaker on the topic is Mr. Jim McNaughton. Mr. McNaughton, if you'll state your name and address for the record.
Good morning. My name is Jim McNaughton. I'm here as a representative of the Solid Waste Authority.
Would you spell your last name, please?
McNaughton, McNaughton. For those of you that don't know, the Solid Waste Authority for the city has been in operation for over 30 years. It's a board under the city administration, as much as the county has its own Solid Waste Authority board. The board has the expressed purpose to manage the Chastain landfill and look for areas of resource recovery. One thing that's been touched upon, and I'd like to enter into the record, is a fact sheet on the benefits of the Chastain landfill. And one of the items outlined on this sheet is that currently constructed and underway is a project for methane capture to renewable natural gas. It's a $37 million facility. Couple other points I'd like to make. The city has estimated that the city solid waste authority has contributed over millions of dollars in value in the last several years to the citizens of Mobile. The citizens of Mobile are also, all of the citizens of Mobile are also all county citizens. So there's a benefit to a good portion of the citizens of the county. The city solid waste authority did approve this application in April of this year. The expansion of the service area ensures the continued economic viability of the landfill itself and also of the renewable natural gas system. And as already been mentioned, all other landfills in the area have similar service areas. I'm also here to answer any questions you may have about the Solid Waste Authority. Thank you.
You're appointed to the board, or you work for the city of Mobile?
I work as a consultant for the city of Mobile.
You work for the city?
I previously worked for the county Solid Waste Authority for 10 years under Joe Ruffer.
Thank you.
As is customary, if the representative of the applicant would like to offer concluding remarks.
Thank you, Commissioners, for allowing us the opportunity to have some concluding remarks. I would like to note that during the public hearing, Mr. Pete Ream, who is the chairman of the City of Mobile Solid Waste Authority, has joined us. He's been away very busy planning tomorrow's Veterans Day celebration, but he was able to break away from that to join us to show again, demonstrate that the City of Mobile Solid Waste Authority has already voted in favor and actually is the applicant asking for this permit modification. And so the one thing that I would like to address based upon Mr. Hayward's remarks are land values surrounding the landfill. And as noted in our analysis that we submitted pursuant to the statute, there really is no impact on land values there because the landfill is already there. The landfill is operational and will continue to be operational. And so the fact that there may be additional volume coming in from what is currently coming in is really not going to have any impact at all. In fact, the fact sheet that Mr. McNaughton submitted to the commission and to be included in the record indicates that the acreage of the landfill is 367 acres. That's not going to change one bit. It's going to remain the same. But the permitted disposal acreage is only 153 acres, and that's per the ADEM permit for the landfill, because what's required under the regulations is that you have a buffer. And so essentially you have a 214-acre buffer all the way around the landfill. And in fact, if you were to drive down up Highway 43 right now, you would really not see the landfill at all. The only way that you would know it was there is the sign at the entrance to get into the landfill. And so that buffer that's required by regulation and will always be there is something that does protect the surrounding neighbors. And really, that's not going to change at all. And so we don't see that this modification would have any impact on property values. I'm happy to answer any other questions, environmental or operational, that the commissioners may have.
Where's Pete? I didn't even recognize you without a suit on, Pete. The city council appoints their solid waste. I guess each member has an appointment to the board. And this is just a statement, not really a question. You know, we have our own solid waste authority, and we each appoint a member to that board. And this is just a statement. I wonder how the city of Mobile, the city council, and the mayor would feel if the county had a landfill in the city limits and our solid waste authority approved a proposal or even applied. My understanding is this is an application by the solid waste authority for the city of Mobile that had no effect on the citizens in the county. They've made an application and passed a proposal that affects nobody that lives in the city, but only affects people who live in the county. So Freddie, I'm fine. That's just a statement.
I just want to make a statement. Dirt Incorporated next door to me, it's in the city. Right next door.
It is now. Let's be upfront. It is now, and that's apples to oranges. We're talking about a C&D versus a garbage landfill. I mean, it's a little bit different. But anyway, that's just a statement.
And if I just may respond, I mean, certainly I can't speculate on the members of the city council, but Commissioner is correct that each of the 7 city council members appoints a member to the Solid Waste Disposal Authority, and the Solid Waste Disposal Authority, through in their representative capacity, unanimously voted in favor of this application. And as Mr. McNaughton noted, the members of the city of Mobile, residents of the city of Mobile, are also residents of Mobile County and are benefited by this, as are residents of the county, as indicated by the solid waste management plan, which indicates that having competitive companies and more options for solid waste disposal helps to keep the cost of disposal down. So this would benefit all members of Mobile County.
Thank you.
No more speakers.
Would you speak to the procedure now from this point forward, Tina?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. So the staff continues to review the application as it relates to the 6 criteria outlined in the ADEM regulations and the solid waste management plan. Today, now that the hearing is closed, the public comment period is closed. So we'll compile those comments, compile our report. We'll brief the county solid waste disposal authority, and then come back to the commission. We anticipate that would be the first meeting in December for the commission to vote on the local approval request.
Will that involve our solid waste authority? I'm sorry, does the county solid waste authority, does this go before them for a vote before it comes to the commission or recommendation?
I intend to put it before our authority as well. Yes, sir.
Thank you. The public hearing is now closed.
4, approve change order number 2 with Team Craft Roofing for project roof maintenance or replacement for various county facilities. The change order will decrease the contract by $388,457.40, and the new contract will be in the total amount of $6,982,449.60.
So moved.
Second.
5, reject all bids received on October 22nd, 2025 for Strickland Youth Center lightning protection. It is recommended that all bids be rejected due to exceeding available funding.
So moved.
Second. Did you say
5, Authorize minor amendment to the program year 2024 action plan to reallocate $53,897.12 of community development block grant funds from the Pritchard Spotlight Project to the Pritchard Fire Department for the purchase of equipment.
So moved.
Second.
7, approve services contract with NAMA's Crafts, Decor, and More to provide arts and crafts sessions scheduled for November through December 2025 for residents at the James T. Strickland Youth Center in the amount of $1,350 to be paid from detention subsidy funds pending legal review.
So moved.
Second.
8, approve appropriation contract with the City of Chickasaw in the amount of $50,000 from District 1 Commission funds for its renovation project to replace windows at the Chickasaw Civic Center.
So moved.
Second.
9, approve amendment to the appropriation contract with the Continental Commissary to change the purpose of funds, the remaining balance in the amount of $5,000 to be used for operational expenses and training food entrepreneurs at the Continental Commissary Kitchen.
So moved.
Second.
10, approve sponsorship agreement with Major General J. Gary Cooper, Montford Point Marines Mobile Chapter Number 33, in the total amount of $2,500 for its 250th Marine Corps Military Ball and the Montford Point Marines 60th anniversary, to be held on November 8th with funds divided as follows.
So moved.
Second.
11, approve appropriation contract with the Board of School Commissioners of Mobile County in the amount of $13,400 from District 1 Education Funds for the awards program at Callaway Smith Middle School.
So moved.
Second.
12, approve appropriation contract with the Board of School Commissioners of Mobile County in the amount of $10,000 from District 3 Education Funds for the athletic program at Palmer Pillins Middle School.
So moved.
Second.
13, approve memorandum of understanding with Child of the Wild to facilitate educational and recreational programming for youth groups within Mobile County parks pending legal review.
Tina, what is the Child of the Wild?
This is a nonprofit organization that provides enrichment, engagement activities for children. I understand, especially for homeschool children, to have group nature activities.
Thank you. So moved.
Second. You want to join?
I don't know, it just sounded pretty cool. I might want to be a member of the Child of the Wild. They handle
Maybe you're just a
they handle
wild
snakes
child.
and things like that.
No, you're just a wild child.
14, approve Mobile County Parks fiscal year 2026 event calendar.
I want to, I wasn't here on Thursday, but I did listen, Matthew and Tina, to the presentation that was done by Matthew. And, you know, as always, Matthew did a great job on the presentation. And I'm proud of the work that you guys have done in our parks. We come up with, I don't know about them, I come up with some crazy ideas, and you guys always seem to find a way to make it happen. And I just wanted to tell you guys thank you, because I wasn't here. I did text Matthew over the weekend, but you did a fantastic job on your presentation, and thank you and Tina and everybody that works with you guys to make our parks what they are. I mean, and every park that I've worked on in my district, you guys have exceeded my expectations of what I even asked for. So thank you so much, and great job.
And I just want to say ditto. I'm always the people who come back to me, particularly with Chickasaw Park, and say, I hadn't been there in years, and they go and see it. Not only do they say the park is beautiful, but they say the staff is so helpful, which is, I mean, that's gold to me. Thank you.
I want those playground plans for the playground at Chickasaw Park. I'm jealous of that. That's a great playground. So Anyway, so moved.
Second.
15, approve Mobile County Park special event permit and fee schedule to facilitate events sponsored by county partners and nonprofits.
So moved.
Second.
16, authorize advertisement of requests for proposals for architectural services for rehabilitation of the Mount Vernon Community Center.
So moved.
Second.
17, approve appropriation contract with the Board of School Commissioners of Mobile County in the amount of $12,000 from District 1 Education Funds to help support the Eagles Dance Club at Ariel W. Holloway Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
18, approve sponsorship agreement with the Hargrove Foundation in the total amount of $3,000 for its 10th annual gala to be held on November 20th with funds divided as follows.
So moved.
Second.
19, approve sponsorship agreement with the Mobile Area Interfaith Conference in the total amount of $3,000 for its holiday gala to be held on December 5th with funds divided as follows.
Eddie, I missed this somehow. Maybe I didn't. I think Danny discussed it with me, but can you take the split the allocation 3 ways, I guess? If it's okay with Commissioner Ludgood,
That's fine.
okay.
Thank
Just
you.
take her and split that, and it'll make it an even split 3 way. And that can be for out of education. Sorry about that. I should have blamed it on Danny, but I'm not going to do that.
Second.
So moved. Sorry.
Okay, we will make that change. Approve sponsorship agreement with United Family Development Corporation in the amount of $4,000 from District 1 Commission funds for its annual Christmas on the Avenue Holiday Festival to be held on December 5th.
So moved.
Second.
21, consider taking the following action on bids.
So moved.
Second.
22, approve renewal of service agreement with BB's Pest and Termite Control in the amount of $400 for termite services at Africatown Hall and Food Bank.
So moved.
Second.
23, approve renewal of license agreement with Time Clock Plus in the amount of $9,450 for TPC Direct for Workday Annual Employee License for the County Commission.
So moved.
Second.
24, approve renewal of subscription agreement with Celebrite for the following items for the Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second.
25, approve 36-month lease agreement with Sharp Electronic Corporation from CPC Office Technologies under the current state of Alabama contract for 1 Sharp copier in the amount of $65.56 per month for the Tobacco Tax Department.
So moved.
Second.
26, approve 36-month master agreement with Dex Imaging under the state of Alabama NASPRO contract for the Hewlett-Packard copier in the amount of $382.81 per month.
So moved.
Second.
27, approve service agreement with Dex Imaging under the current state of Alabama NASPRO contract for the Hewlett-Packard DesignJet copier in the amount of $202.94 per quarter for the County Commission.
So moved.
Second.
28, approve amending October 27th, 2025 minutes, agenda item number 27, renewal of license agreement with DocuSign Government at Carasoft to include the amount of $60,975.60 in the agenda language.
So moved.
Second.
29, award bid to HCL Contracting for project Town of Dauphin Island Streets resurfacing for their low bid in the amount of $277,408.17.
So moved.
Second.
30, adopt resolution approving supplemental agreement number 1 to the construction agreement for an industrial access project with the state of Alabama acting by and through the Alabama Department of Transportation, and authorize the president of the commission to execute the resolution and the agreement on behalf of Mobile County. This supplemental agreement provides for additional industrial access funding for project additional turn lanes and an entranceway along US 43 to benefit Canfor Southern Pine.
So moved.
Second.
31, approve proposed and final plat of the following subdivision. Cody addition to Portersville.
So moved.
Second.
32, approve proposed plat only of the following subdivision, Downing Place subdivision. This is a private road subdivision, and the roads within the subdivision will not be accepted by Mobile County for maintenance.
I hate to make the same speech every time we have a private road subdivision on the agenda, but here we go. This past week alone, 3 different private road subdivision issues that I had to deal with. Not that I mind dealing with them, I just have to deal with them. And it's not that I hate having to deal with them, I hate that the people who live in these subdivisions are having to deal with them. And the issue is that they're basically private property, and the county, and rightfully so, the citizens who live in these neighborhoods, believe it or not, a lot of times, and it's nobody's fault, I guess, they don't even realize that they've bought a house, unless you're Ricky Mitchell, to go out and buy a house in a private road subdivision. But a lot of the people in these subdivisions don't even realize it. And of course, the first thing I hear, and I'm not going to speak for anybody else on the commission, but the first thing I hear is, well, we pay taxes. We're taxpayers. Why can't the county fix our road? One of them is horrible, and the houses in that neighborhood probably range from $500,000 to $750,000, and you have to swerve through the neighborhood to miss craters in the road. I had proposed to carry this over until we look further, and I've asked the county engineer and her staff if we can't sit down and look at what we're approving, maybe change our regulations. I mean, and I know the developer for this subdivision is here today if he wants to speak on his behalf or on behalf of it. But the issue is there's only, in my opinion, one reason why you would build a private road subdivision, and that's because you don't want to build the roads to the standards that the county would require you to do. Is that accurate, Kim? How you doing?
Hey, good morning. Corey Bronenkamp for the record.
Who is the, I know you're the developer on the subdivision. What are the plans for who's going to be building houses here, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir. Thanks for the question. It'd be Adams Homes.
Okay.
Who would be the builder here?
Okay. This isn't anything against you. I hope you understand. You just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time today. This is something that I speak against every time there's one on the agenda. There was just one on here 2 weeks ago. And I know the area where this one is being built. Maybe you can shed some light on exactly why Adams Homes is having you, or you work for Adams Homes, or you're just a developer?
No, sir. Just a private developer that work really closely with Adams Homes as a builder. In this particular instance, the application of private road kind of works in our favor. Just with the contours of the property, we're able to do some open ditches on each side of the road. And so it lends itself well to doing a private road versus having curb and gutter. So in this application, that was able to make this particular subdivision and the engineering of it feasible. If we were having to do publicly dedicated roads, the existence of the subdivision wouldn't be able to come to manifestation just because of cost. And so having the ability to collect water in the open ditches on each side and basically channel with the contours of the property. Its high point is at the start of the neighborhood going down to the rear, really is enabling us to deliver a product to Adams at a lot price that's affordable to them so that they can build houses in the 300,000 range or so. If they were publicly dedicated, then I'm confident that the lot price would be significantly higher, and then it would drive the house or the price of the home significantly higher as well, and that would just be passed on to the consumer. So it's really just a tool in our toolbox that we use every once in a while when costs start getting out of hand on lot prices, specifically here, so that the builder can deliver a product that's within a price range that's affordable.
So, I mean, the short version of what you just said is it's cheaper to build the road as a private road than it is to build it as a public road. Is that?
In this application, the engineering of it made sense just because we were able to do open ditches on each side. Yes, sir.
How soon are you, have you started, or when are you
No, sir.
anticipating to start
Really,
construction?
this approval of preliminary plat gives me the green light to finalize the plans with the engineering department. And I have bids in place and a contractor. And I would think, based on historical experience with the county, it'd probably be another 4 to 6 weeks or so to firm everything up and get a permit in place and start moving dirt.
Timothy, if we carry this over to have some more, I know we were going to have more discussion when we had 2 weeks ago. I mean, are we going to be delaying them significantly, or is it something we can discuss and look at the next meeting, and maybe even if we do carry it over, have some conversation and see where we're at? Would it delay them significantly, or could?
Good morning. So the delay, if it were to be held over today, the delay would be in the proposed plat approval, not necessarily the construction plans. Now, if the commission were to take action to amend the subdivision regulations that changes some of the requirements, that would ultimately change some of the engineering elements that was administratively approved by our staff, that might present some delays.
I'll tell you, I'll say this, and I'm just kind of thinking through my mind, since this one's already proposed, I'm going to approve it, because really I have no choice. At the end of the day, I'll either approve it now or approve it in 2 weeks. But because it's already there and the regulations are what they are, but I want us to seriously sit down and look at what we're doing here. And again, this really has zero effect on my life. I'm dealing with private road subdivisions that were built 20 years ago, and the only thing I'm concerned about is 20 years from now, somebody's going to be sitting here and they're going to have to be going through and it's, again, it's really not me it's the citizens of Mobile County who live on these roads that sometimes don't understand that they pay taxes, and I see their concept. Yeah, they do pay taxes, but what they don't realize is those roads are nothing more than a driveway. Like at my house, for example, it's no different than my driveway, and I can't call the county out. I guess I could, but Neil would probably laugh if I called the county and asked them to resurface my driveway or something. But that's the problem. And sir, this is no knock on you at all. So don't feel that way. It's nothing
No,
against
sir.
Adams Homes.
I don't take it that way.
We
I
work with
understand.
them all the time. You just happen to be here today, and there was nobody here 2 weeks ago
Sure.
when we had one of these. But
And we'd just with the developer hat would potentially love a seat at the table if those conversations ensue about a possible alternative to private roads. We're pretty active in the county, and would love to be a part of the conversation if that's something that comes about in the future.
And it would be, and I think you said in a long way what I've been saying the whole time. It's just cheaper to build a private road than it is to build what the county would require you to build in the event that you were to build it to county standards and we were to take over the maintenance on it. So, but that's something we're going to look at here real soon, I hope, and maybe have some conversation on the commission. But I appreciate you being here today. And again, this is nothing against you, and I'm sure Jim.
Understood. Yes,
Jimbo
sir.
and some others from Adams will be involved in this development project that's in my district, and certainly we need housing all over the county, but thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So I know I said a lot to go ahead and approve this, but I think it would be, I just don't see how I could. It's submitted under the current standards that we require, and until we sit down and decide if those standards are good enough or need to be changed, there's not a whole lot of options for me other than to approve it. And with that said, so moved.
Second. Could you come back down for a minute? I wanted to vote on it before I asked because I didn't want to signal any opposition, but you said something that I found interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
When you were making your remarks, you limited this analysis of of making this a private road, basically because of the contours of the property.
Yes, ma'am.
And that it sounds to me as if you had given it some thought.
Yes, ma'am.
That there were ditches. So are there times when you look at a development and say, this would be perfect to do a road, to build a road to county standards? Do you ever exercise that option?
Yeah, I think when we first sit down and start analyzing the engineering, obviously it's something that takes into account with the builder as well. So that conversation is had with the builder. But I think absolutely, if we're able to deliver a product where the contours of the property, say there's a relatively flat property, that there's not so much earth moving, then perhaps some of that cost can be absorbed to do curb and gutter and bring it up to county standards. So I think it's just a weighing scale. This property had immense challenges, and in fact, I think probably 3 or 4 of the properties are actually going to be blocked floating foundations. So there's incredible contours to this property. So we just had some engineering challenges that contributed to the cost. And so if we're sitting at a property that didn't have as many challenges, then I think it would be a logical conversation to do county roads that would be dedicated. Yes, ma'am.
So in an ideal world where you had the perfect topography, how much would it cost about per lot for curb and gutter? How much would it add?
It's really doesn't come down to curb and gutter. I think the road profile of the county is pretty immense, but generally speaking, for total development, we're around $1,000 a linear foot for a publicly dedicated road. So that starts to add up. We generally see around $35,000 to $40,000 for infrastructure total per lot. So if we have a land basis, if you're buying it for $20,000 an acre and you're getting on average 2.4 lots per acre, so you're around $10,000 or $12,000 per lot, and then you add that onto your infrastructure, which is around $40,000 per lot, your lot cost is getting up to $50,000, $55,000 before you add any profit onto it. And so it just starts when you have publicly dedicated roads at $1,000 a linear foot, that lot price starts to add up significantly versus maybe a publicly dedicated road is going to be somewhere around that $750 or $700 per linear foot. So there's a significant cost delta between that. And when you're looking at a site that does have engineering challenges with topography, that delta needs to be made up somewhere. And generally, in this particular case, it's with a private road.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope that's helpful.
I know this is not what you came for today.
No, that's okay. I'm happy to contribute in any way I can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Corey, what's the name of your company?
For this, it's 195 LLC.
Where are you from?
I'm in Mobile, sir.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for answering questions.
Thank you.
Next time we have a private road, we'll call you down, get some expertise.
Authorize acquisition of property and acceptance of right-of-way deeds and/or easements from the following property owners for the following projects.
So moved.
Second.
34, consider waiving Section 5-3-6 and Section 5-6 of the subdivision regulations and approving preliminary and final plat of the following subdivision.
So moved.
Second.
35, approve right-of-way and/or easement agreement for Tract 1 on Monroe Lane in the amount of $360 for project Monroe Lane grade drain base and pave.
So moved.
Second.
36, approve right-of-way and/or easement agreements for Foster Road in the total amount of $18,280 for project Foster Road grade drain base and pave for tracks divided as follows.
So moved.
Second.
37, approve supplemental agreement number 3 with Gibson Construction Services for project City of Pritchard Streets, Wasson Avenue Bridge replacement for installation of steel beam guardrail, increasing the contract amount by $39,160 to be paid from project City of Pritchard water and sewer relocation on Wasson Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
38, commission announcements and/or comments.
I've said too much today. Thank you.
Is that, no, you have announcements?
We have 3 events on Saturday. The open house for Franklin House and Gallery at 355 North Ann Street. And then we have the 2 Parks Falls Festival celebration at Escatawpa Hollow Park and Campground and at Bayfront Park from noon to 2.
And tomorrow is Veterans Day. Please take time to tell a veteran how much we appreciate the service that they rendered for our country.
I will add to, I just want to say this because there is construction going on at Bayfront Park. We've secured a parking lot across from the Alabama Port Fire Department on Highway 188. I know it's on our social media. We'll have buses coming back and forth, so anybody who plans to attend, there'll be overflow parking there on 188.
Thank you.
39, approve request for motion to adjourn until November 24th.
So moved.
Second.